Hello, everybody. I'm here recording another podcast with my friend John Villanueva from
Villanueva.
Villanueva. Sorry about that. From Houston, Texas. Got to meet him a couple of months ago at a meetup and got to know a little bit of what he's doing. And so he has graced us with his presence to talk about a little bit about where he came from, what he's doing, and the new business he's trying to run with a good team, and seeing how he can be of service for you guys. So, with no further ado, John, please, man, the stage is all yours, man.
Thanks, man. First and foremost, glad to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to, you know, uh, be here and talk to you, and just kind of provide you some value and maybe to the people who need it. So again, my name is John. I'm with Houston Probate Leads here. I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas. So I'm not one of these people who kind of moved from afar, but nothing wrong with that. But I am born and raised here in Houston, so this is my home city. And yeah, uh, kind of going back to what we do here at Houston Probate Leads is we provide Harris County probate leads to all the realtors, investors, wholesalers, anybody who's looking to do some more deals here in this market. We're always available, and I we can kind of get more into the story and everything, but that's who I am, and that's what I'm looking. That's what we're looking to do as a team this year at Houston Probate Leads is just provide people with kind of affordable leads and a quicker way to obtain these leads. And yeah, just help these guys, help you, George, too. If
Right.
you need some more leads, close more deals, and just provide value to not just the sellers, but to your family as well, and just grow as a community.
Sweet, sweet. Well, thanks, man. I guess we'll get down to the nitty gritty of out of being I guess being a wholesaler, like I like to call it, I like to be like a smart butt sometimes when the agents call me, are you one of them wholesalers? Like, at the end of the day, I'm a problem solver. What do you mean a
Yeah,
problem
I love that. Yeah.
solver? And so with this, with me asking, because I've experienced talking to foreclosures, tired landlords, and there's so many other avenues you can reach. So my question to you, John, is why probates?
Yeah, so I guess the short answer is opportunity and affordability.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of what I mean by that is one thing we noticed when we were kind of trying to, at least at that time, we were trying to get into the real estate game and purchase leads from X, Y, and Z companies. One thing we noticed was that not many of the popular lead companies actually even had probate leads. So we were like, there might even be an opportunity here to kind of carve our own little niche.
Right.
Um, and I'll just kind of say their names, but like if you were to purchase a list, for example, from Batch Leads or PropStream, these guys don't specifically have probate leads. I think they kind of offer a version of the leads. So from
Mm-hmm.
what I understand, Batch Leads kind of offers what's called, I believe, inherited properties, which is obviously it's post probate. It's already been through the flow of the probate, been closed, and then been passed to the heirs.
Right.
Um, and I believe PropStream, if I'm not mistaken, offers what's called pre-probates, meaning it's they're pulling from the death records. And as kind of bad as that sounds, and some people call it ambulance chasers. And
Right.
pros and cons to pre-probates. But basically, what we offer is fresh probate leads in the sense that these folks are barely in the probate process, and they've already have had the funeral for their loved ones, and some time has passed, but there's nothing wrong with like the batch leads and a prop stream for those inherited,
Right.
and then the pre-probate. It's just whatever your niche is. But this is what we offer is fresh probate leads where people are still barely begin the probate process, and it's up to you, the investor, the realtor, wholesaler, to reach out to see how you can help them. But so that to answer your question, that's where the we saw the opportunity because we were kind of blown away that these more popular companies they didn't really offer these fresh leads like that.
Okay.
Um, and then also the ones that did offer them, I'll touch on affordability now. The ones that do offer them, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they're very expensive. So if you were to kind of buy a whole month's worth of leads from them,
Hmm.
it ranges anywhere from 800 to $2,000 per month.
Wow.
Yeah, and which is, I would imagine, not too many investor or rookie investors or new
Mhm.
wholesalers, new realtors, kind of have that budget, so to speak.
Right.
So we can kind of get into the pricing model of how we do things, but basically, uh, well, we the opportunity and affordability is kind of why we decided to kind of go through the probate niche.
Okay. Sounds good, John. And as far as how long have you been when did you guys launch?
Yeah, great question. So we launched, as far as the website and everything, we launched in January of 2024.
Okay.
However, we were kind of already pulling these leads a few months prior, so late 2023. And I think one of your questions is probably how we came up with the idea, and we can kind of get into that too if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, go
But
ahead, man.
yeah. So okay, so basically, to be kind of a fun fact with us, Houston Probate Leads wasn't even the first business idea. It
Okay.
was really never supposed to even be in existence, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
It was actually a company that we kind of started called Texas Probate Services Group, which
Okay.
we kind of acronymed by calling Texas PSG.
Mm.
And you may ask, well, what is that? So basically, what we were doing is once we figured out how to pull probates from the county and the courthouses,
Hmm.
what we noticed was the probate attorney is also listed on the file as well.
Okay.
And I know you are very familiar with Pace, right?
Yes.
Pace Morby.
Face more, yes.
This guy is a genius. So I was listening to one of his podcasts, and long story short, he had mentioned building relationships with probate attorneys to
Right.
get those same leads that you can kind of cold call that are going through probate, the
Right.
actual sellers. So we were like, um, what if we kind of reach out to probate attorneys as opposed to cold calling the actual people who are inheriting the property?
Gotcha.
So hence Texas Probate Services Group was created, right?
Right.
And we were doing a lot of attorney outreach, building relationships with
Nice.
all the local attorneys,
Hmm.
letting them know that, hey, we're a new probate services group. We offer tons of vendor services for your clients and people who are going through probate. For example, a state sale company, lawn care. We got realtors on our team. We got cash buyers. We got locksmiths. Anything that you can think of while you're going through probate, it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like unlimited of what person can be services they need.
Right.
And I kind of I kind of have this little thing here that I can show you here. But what this is what's called our vendor team services. So if you kind of can see the first one, it says lawn care up there. Let me
Okay.
see. Yeah. And then as you go down, you can see home listing and home buying. That's what you guys do. All the guys in real estate, estate sale companies, abandoned boats and cars, locksmiths, tree removal, fence, storage, pool cleaning, drone services, pest control, professional home cleaning, property securement, pet relocation, and also some local and reliable contractors. Because so the reason why we came up with that is when you're reaching out to these attorneys, how can you separate yourself and really provide them value and their clients value, right?
Right.
Yes, you can kind of just reach out and just say, hey, Mr. Attorney, my name is John. I'm a real estate investor. Do you guys have any properties that you're looking to sell?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of like a more cold approach. Whereas, like, another way to do it is how can I provide value for the people that need it? Assuming you have any clients going through this probate who need these services. So I know that's kind of long-winded, but basically, the whole idea, the first business idea we had was Texas Probate Services Group, and building relationships with gatekeepers, aka probate attorneys, aka B2B. So
Got it.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting, and obviously, I love the way you say you don't just approach somebody with wanting something, because it is a lot of times, and obviously, I went through that obstacle of, you know, a hey, how can I say this? Instead of just asking for something, it's like, hey, John, I know you're doing probates. Instead of, obviously, at the end of the day, I want those leads. Like, how is it that we can work together? Is there a way where, maybe we can work together? Somehow I may not have the money, but I have the time. Is there any way
Yes.
possibly I can get access to that list and possibly call them for you? And then any deals that I lock up, obviously, I'll run it by you and see how we can possibly work together to where it can add value, and also I can potentially help you promote it more to, hey, where'd you get that lead from? Oh,
Yeah.
got it from Jonathan's group and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But man, and you're doing a lot of things that sometimes we don't want to do because we hear the name probate attorney, we feel intimidated. But like you say,
Yep.
leading with value makes a lot of sense, and that's one of the things that Pace expresses a lot of times. Be that go giver. Figure out how I can get in there, but also give something of value because we all have these quote unquote or birthday gifts that we don't know about yet.
Oh, I love that. You said birthday gifts?
Birthday gifts like
Oh,
natural.
wow. Yeah, natural skill set. We all have something inside of us. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Sweet, man. And so as far as reaching out to probate attorneys, for anybody listening or interested in working with you, are you only in Houston right now, or do you have other cities that you can provide probate leads from?
Yeah, as of right now, because we're a small team of three, we're
Mhm.
only in Houston, aka Harris County.
Right.
And kind of like a fun fact about Harris County, not really a fun fact, but a fact, is Harris County has the highest filed number of probates in the whole United States.
Wow.
Yeah, it's typically 800 to 1,000 or more per month. However, just because that's the case, not all of them make it to a probate lead
Right.
because they've already sold the property prior to probate. Maybe it's a probate lead where it's just somebody's filing their will, being
Right.
proactive, and kind of going back to the not the competitors, but the other companies who do sell only probates. They're selling you all those 800 to 1,000,
Awesome.
even though there's no deceased involved, and is somebody literally just filing a will. There's also what's known as guardianship.
Mm,
So, like when a person has become incapacitated, maybe they have dementia, maybe they're just very old,
right.
and the heirs are becoming the legal guardian of that person. These other probate lead providers are selling you that lead, and like I said, nothing wrong with that. But what's the real problem you're solving if the person has not even passed yet? You
Right.
know, so I'm not saying that you won't get a deal from that, but it's highly unlikely that a guardianship is going to yield you a deal as a real estate investor. So yeah, you will see that the most leads that we offer on a monthly basis are ranging from 300 to 450 at the most,
Nice.
and those are real leads. Those are where there's a deceased involved, and there's a piece of real estate involved, or in some cases more than a piece of real estate.
Multiple. Nice.
Yeah, and we can kind of get into our list later, but yeah, basically, just to kind of uh, touch more on that, that's kind of how we kind of do things here.
Nice, nice. Okay, Jonathan. Well, yeah. As far as starting in January, now we're in July. Typically, I think this is the start of the third quarter, which I'm slowly learning how to like label things, and obviously having certain goals for each quarter. From where you started in January, where you're at now, where are you at within your team goals, and where's somewhere you want to get to, or how can you get? What are the steps that you want to take to get there?
Yeah, so the team goal, I guess, we're kind of looking at it not at quarterly right now. We're looking at it as a whole year.
Okay.
So our sole focus this year is just getting the name out there and shaking hands, going to meetups, giving away lists for free.
Right.
We're not even looking to sell any lists this year.
Got you.
We're all in agreement as a team on that's the sole focus this year.
Got it.
Shaking hands, letting word of mouth take care of itself, letting the product speak for itself,
Hmm.
and just really really providing value to people, especially those getting started and who have zero budget or very small budgets.
Right.
And the whole purpose is, there's a book by Gary Vaynerchuk called Jab 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 Right Hook.
Oh man.
It's basically means give, and then ask. Okay.
Okay.
So you're literally just providing as much value as you can, whatever that may be for you, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you clean houses, or maybe you cut grass, and you want to kind of provide some free services or discounted services in the very beginning, just to kind of give some people some value, and kind of be separate yourself from the masses. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, we're on a yearly basis. We're just trying to kind of get our name out there this year.
Got it. Got it. All right. Well, man, thanks for giving me that. Now I have another book I need to read. Jab, 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 right hook. I thought it was gonna be a
Yes,
boxing, but it does make
I
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And as far as how when people have I guess bought into your services, are you able to get a feedback from your clients so far, or what's been the process so far?
Yeah, we do get feedback. Right now, it's more email. Whether it's me emailing the customers, or Alex or Marissa,
Hmm.
and a lot of good feedback at this time. Hey, John, these are very good leads. Most of these numbers are very accurate. Haven't gotten a deal yet, but I'm still doing the follow up. And if somebody is not too familiar with probate, it takes time and patience,
Yes.
because these folks are still going through because we offer these leads so fresh. um, it's not going to be a one call close at all. So
Oh.
um, this is more of a pipeline game, right? You're going to have to
Hmm.
follow up, as because you are in the trenches, from what I
Yes.
understand, doing the calls, and building your pipeline, and yeah, so it's a follow up game.
It is, and obviously getting everybody on board because obviously with probates, somebody has passed away, and hopefully, I guess from looking at those experiences, John, and I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat. Even in our, I don't know, you're probably 20, but I don't have no shame to say I'm in my 40s, where we don't even think about a will, but it is important to have
Yes.
those in place to where when somebody does pass away, everything's set up and to update that every once in a while. So
Yes.
you don't run into that because sometimes I've dealt with certain situations where it becomes harder to where, oh, so and so died in 1950, but the county
Hmm.
records only hold death records for people from 1980 into present day. But this guy passed away in 1950, so it's having to go to Austin, find that death certificate, and provide all that proper paperwork for the title company.
Yep, yep. Yeah, they're definitely more involved, probate leads, so it's not going to be a one call close like a
Yeah,
foreclosure lead, or, maybe a vacant lead, for example.
yeah. But it goes back to what you're saying, Jonathan. Obviously, having the right data, having the right number. But once you get on phone, it is leading with value. Is when they say, "How'd you get my number?" Like, well, one of our specialties is obviously reaching out, and you
Yep,
you probably have a script. I mean, it is just trying to be in there and seeing how you can add value. How's the family? How's everything going? What are your plans?
yeah,
Obviously, letting them talk and maybe grieve, but learn to be, let's say at the end of the day, a human being, and like say jab jab hook, or jab 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 right hook.
right, exactly. And it kind of goes back to those vendor services, right?
Hmm.
Um, and kind of one of the things that we want to offer this later this year is a probate attorney list. So right now we just sell the probate leads.
Okay.
Um, Now, one of the lists that we want to sell later this year is the probate attorney list, and we're going to offer the cold call script for those guys as well. We're going to probably offer two ways. If you already know how to talk to these attorneys, you
Hmm.
can just buy the list. But
Right.
if you want to kind of like, if you're new to the gatekeeper outreach, aka B2B,
Yeah.
then we will offer that script for those folks. And again, it's all about leading with value. You should not be scared reaching out to the attorney. Yeah, it might seem intimidating, and that's okay. However, when you're literally trying to provide them some value, that this should lower that barrier of fear.
Fact.
If not, kind of just obliterate it.
Facts, facts. But I
Yeah.
love, I love that list that you provide, even though it was barely in seen. But obviously, whoever wants to reach out to you, it is providing those other services like lawn care, like pet relocation, and asking those questions and being curious, and obviously letting that person on the other end open up to you. And then, like say, just just being a service at the end of the day. That's what we're providing. And like I said, using those birthday gifts, what am I good at? And how
Mm.
can I make a living off of this? Maybe not necessarily be rich, but this is something that I'm passionate about. And this is what I want to do. And obviously, you're working with a team and knowing that you're not the only one, other than the pretty face in front of the camera, you have a team and obviously it's working with those different personalities to come to that one common goal.
Yeah, kind of going back real quick to the vendor services. Like I said, this was not even Houston Probate Leads was not even the first business idea, right? It
Right.
was Texas Probate Services Group. I remember back in October, September last year, it was me and Alex. We were cold calling all the local vendors that I just showed you guys. Um, we would probably have to go through five of them just to get a good two or three.
Wow.
You're basically vetting them,
Right.
right? Not only through their Google reviews, but just kind of like how they're speaking to you. Like,
Mm,
would this be a good vendor to send this probate lead Susan for estate sale company services or lawn care services? And you know and that basically what another thing we want to do is we want to provide some training later on our website, like,
nice.
hey, do you want to kind of do you not want to cold call these leads and instead you want to cold call probate attorneys
Right.
for okay, perfect. Now we have a training on not only how to talk to them, what to say to them, what to offer to them, but basically as well as kind of how to go about building your vendor team services. So
Nice.
we have a lot of plans, is what I'm saying to you, later this year and even next year.
Nice. Nice. You have the like you're doing good now, but you also you want to get to higher levels, and that's a beauty beautiful thing about it, John. And with that said, I'm curious because obviously you have a job, you have a family, and then you're trying to make time for this. And I do run into a lot of people recently when they're like, George, I want to be like you. Like, well, right now, a lot of my income is coming from what I'm doing. It's prospecting, it's trying to lead with value, but also being patient and knowing that if it is a probate situation, it's going to take time. But it's also, like, say, making every call. How can I advance this conversation? Does this person even want to work with me? So, with that, ask how do you do it? How for somebody that may have a 9 to 5 and do what you're doing. How do you do that, or is it the start up here in the mind?
A great question. So one word: discipline.
Okay.
That's it. Just to kind of, for those who don't know, I do have a full-time oil and gas job, and this is something that me and the team are kind of building as our own. We all have full-time jobs,
Wow.
but we're doing this probate leads part-time, growing the company. And yeah, basically to answer your question, discipline. There are days where, I don't want to come home and, do the work on the computer, whether that's kind of going through some of the leads that kind of Marissa, which is she's the one kind of pulling the data, and
Right.
she's the one sifting through all the applications, the wills, talking to attorneys.
Mm,
We have a court, what's called a court runner, somebody who goes to the court,
right.
um, the courthouse, and yeah, basically, I'll just provide support by, kind of checking the leads, making sure nothing was missed or overlooked. Then I'll kind of send it to script tracing and all that stuff. But yes, there are days where I don't want to do all that, especially when I come home from doing a pretty mentally taxing job at my oil and
Right.
gas job, which I do 3D designing and 3D modeling for,
Nice.
basically drafting a design. But yeah, it takes discipline, and I kind of like you said, I love how you said that birthday gift. I've heard a birthday suit,
Yeah, no, no.
but yeah, birthday gift.
Birthday.
So I feel I was very blessed with birthday gift of discipline, and maybe that was because my stepfather,
Hmm.
when I was a kid, he put me in sports. I was in football,
Nice.
basketball, track, and maybe it's that kind of solidified the foundation of discipline for me.
Right.
Um, and then of course, like I want it really bad, and I'm not gonna let anything stop me.
Oh.
And yeah, and there's also programs out there that can kind of help you get more discipline and dialed in.
Hmm.
And one of them, the programs that I did that I kind of do once a year is called 75 Hard.
Oh wow.
And yeah, very, very mentally taxing program. You know, it's not a fitness program, but if anybody want to kind of explore that program, just Google 75 Hard,
Okay.
and this is a mental toughness program. You know,
I
it's
heard.
basically 75 days of the same actions, no days off.
Mm.
But yeah, discipline to answer your question.
Okay, gotcha. Because yeah, I learned motivation can get you started, but then discipline gets you through those days that you don't want to do it. But it is being like say having that discipline. No, I got to get this done. Because getting what's that phrase is getting it somewhat done is better than not getting it done at all.
I love that. Yeah. One thing that I say too is when motivation calls in sick, discipline takes the call.
Nice, I like
You
that.
know.
Love it, love it. And I love the reference to teams because I'm kind of learning that being in the military and I kind of seeing,
Oh
obviously you have
wow.
to work with each other, but also teamwork. It's having like your Kobe's, your Jordans. Yeah, they were great individually, but they were greater with the team, with a coach. And that's having the discipline or having the desire to get better and not settling to where like, "Ah, I got this 9 to 5, I'm good, but I don't want to do this real estate. Do I really want to do it?" Like at the end of the day, what do you want? Because in
Yeah.
order for you to get better, you have to sacrifice something, but also have that
Exactly.
communication with your family. Because hey, guys, I love you guys, but I want to do this for us. So it's going to require for a little bit of time away from you guys, but eventually getting to that goal and getting there to where eventually you have that what in the real estate we call financial freedom. Having
Yes.
a couple rentals or whatever your goal is, to where you're not working for the man anymore, but you're actually working for yourself, and you're also doing
Exactly.
a job for others.
Yep. Agreed.
Sweet, sweet. Well, Jonathan, like I said, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? I'm sure, I will more than likely reach out to you to see kind of try it out myself because I have a little bit of experience with probates. And like I say, it's just being that, obviously the situation, somebody's passed away, you just want to be of value somehow, whether it is maybe not getting a deal, but like say providing a service to where let me cut your grass or you let me take a dog. My dog just passed away. I'll be more than happy to take that dog from you. But being curious, and that's something that Pace always expresses, finding those bunnies, finding.
Yeah, I've heard him say that.
And so, yeah, just leading with value, and obviously, it's a numbers game. Is eventually you're gonna help enough people to where what I learned too, Jonathan, you can't say the wrong thing to a motivated lead.
Yeah.
Once you gain their respect, once you gain that this person is really George is not just a guy with a cheesy smile. He actually cares, and I believe that, and I think I want to work with him. I'm willing to give up some equity, or I'm willing to go on a long term relationship with George based on his property.
Hmm.
And yeah, and you earn that service, and then obviously what I'm learning long term, you start getting referrals. People start coming to you, and then now you're the probate guy or you're the foreclosure guy, and these conversations are easier because you've been through it. But you have to go through the grind in order
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
that.
you kind of, it's all about kind of carving your own niche. And like, for example, how I see you is you're like the creative guy, right? You're kind of coming up with creative solutions,
Right,
not just cash offers,
right,
and that's kind of another conversation in itself,
right.
because from what I understand, at least a little about the real estate wholesaling that I know, is that there's so many creative ways to do deals, so that's how I
Yeah.
see you is kind of come up with the creative strategies.
Yeah, it also goes with what you're mentioning, coming in there, understanding what's going on, kind of like being like a house doctor. You're
Yeah.
evaluating the situation, and you're like, well, what about this cash offer? Nah, it's too low. Well, why is it too low? But you have the confidence to ask because you're just curious, and then you come up with a creative offer. What about this? Well, I'm not an agent, Mr. Probate Lead, but I do have agents on my team. I know they will take care of you. Let me refer you to
Yes.
them. So you're just solving problems or finding
Yeah.
those monies.
Yes.
Hmm.
um yeah, I think, let's see here. I guess kind of what I want to kind of leave it at is, one of the things that we do want to do this year. So if anybody is interested in the leads, they can go to HoustonProbateLeads.com.
Hmm.
And what you will see right now, what are we in? July 13th, 2024.
Yes.
713 day here in Houston. um,
713, yes, sir.
713 day. Um, Basically, we're just an online store at this time. So, for example, if you wanted the probate leads for a specific day, you would just go to the website. You would see, hey, there's the leads from July 12th. Let me go ahead and check out. Let me go ahead and add that one to the cart. Check out, pay. Boom, you have the list delivered like within a 5 to 10 minutes. Um, However, one of our ideas is to kind of be more of the data pulling service.
Okay.
We're because we're so new right now, it's a little more difficult for us to kind of work with software engineers and data scientists and those folks who know how to kind of build something like that.
Right.
Uh, but the bigger vision is to be a data pulling software where you literally can kind of log into our system and you're like, okay, show me the probate leads for June, because let's say you want to go after last month's probate leads,
Right.
because maybe they've already kind of went through the probate process, and you kind of just want to reach out to those folks, kind of niche down, right?
Right.
At the same time, okay, maybe you want to filter just to show the probate attorneys from June, you know, then you export your list, and then you have your list of attorneys. You can just literally cold call, whether manual dial or call on a dialer. So and then also maybe you want to kind of go after the probate leads who are what's known as absentee probates. At
Okay.
least that's what we call them.
What's
And
that?
what, yeah, you're asking, what is that? So basically, what absentee probate is that when the executor does not live at the property that is going through probate.
Okay.
So, for example, daughter Susie, she is inheriting the property, or she's the executor of the property. Let's say she lives in Houston, but she
Okay.
doesn't live at that property. Maybe she lives on for example, on the south side of Houston, and the property her dad lived in Humble, for example.
Okay.
That's an absentee probate. Um, that's an absentee in county probate.
Okay.
Now, let's say that you wanted to go after just the absentee out of county probates. You're asking kind of what is that? Now, what that is let's say daughter Susie lives in Florida
Okay.
and her dad lived in Humble. That's what we call an absentee out of county / out of state. So what people are probably wondering, why would I want to just reach out to them? Well, there's probably more motivation to sell the property
True.
because they don't even live in Texas or even in Harris County. They might live in Sugar Land or Fort Bend, Galveston County,
Right.
because how many counties we have here surrounding here. As you know, we have a lot of counties.
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, the vision there is to sort of be a data pulling software where you can pull like the absentee probates, you can pull the probate attorney list. You can kind of build your list from our website.
Right.
And we're going to try our best to launch that in January of next year.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But right now, we're just a simple online store, like you're buying some protein powder.
There you go. They're getting them gains and
Yeah,
getting deals.
get the leads gains.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, thank you, Jonathan, again. I know you had an obligation before this, and obviously you're helping out, and obviously always family first. Obviously the big man first, family, and then obviously your community. So thank you, and I look forward to working with you and possibly reaching out to my team and say, hey, let's try out John's service and see what we can do. That way, when a deal does come through, there's being helping you promote that as well. I got
Oh
to
yeah,
working with John, and they do a great job. And yeah, man. What I'll do as soon as we're done recording, I'll put all your contact information so people can reach out to you as well, and then see what can happen from this, and just have this for people who may be interested in probate and need to get something more explanations. Then obviously they can reach out to you for more
for sure,
guidance.
man. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, John. Well, thanks everybody. Hopefully, what's that old phrase? Like and subscribe, share with
Yeah,
somebody who
don't
may
forget to hit that bell.
hit the bell, ping.
All
Uh,
right, brother. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon.